Giving you the real from A to Z surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports. Live with Will Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Good morning, good people. Welcome to A to Z Sports Live, streaming live here on YouTube and Facebook. And of course, I am your host, Will Skywalker Steele. Boom! What's happening, Cowboys Nation? Coming up today, got 4 things to watch for Cowboys Rookie Minicamp, which comes up this weekend. I think the rookies start to fill in today, and then tomorrow they begin to get things going. 4 things to watch between drafted guys, undrafted guys, battles, all of it. So stay tuned for that. Plus, in the roundup, Tyler Smith talk. He spoke up a little bit about his whole position flex. And the Cowboys do their annual random invite, but they have to do these things because you need a bunch of guys out there for rookie minicamp. It's not like it was a long time ago. You need a ton of players to participate and get through these next 2 or 3 days while they're out there. So we'll get into some of these battles. Again, let's set the stage here when it comes to the rookie minicamp. There's no pads. They're not hitting. They're barely thudding. But there are some things that you can gauge. You can get from these rookies coming in. The movement, where are they placed? How fast are they picking things up? Because they're going to test them in that manner. So we'll take a look at 4 things I want to watch for. And then you guys can add what you want to add. Call into the phone line. 351-999-3787. What's good, Bomb Squad?
Bomb Squad!
Later today or tonight, whatever time they decide to do it. And I know the social medias of all these teams, they'll be rolling out the full schedule for NFL teams and where we'll play, and you guys can get your tickets and all that good stuff. So we'll talk about that on Monday when they roll all that stuff out. So if you're into the schedule thing, they'll be dropping all of that later tonight, and we'll get into it on Monday. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we'll get into it on Monday and talk about what some of these insiders may have seen down there at camp as well. I wish I could get down there and just be able to see it my damn self. But hey, maybe we'll talk that into existence at some point. Nonetheless, we'll try to get some guests on here who are down there. We'll pick up our scientific method next week. So we'll definitely have Patrick on here, No C Walker. He'll be giving us the insight of what happened down there and moving forward. So jam-packed stuff already for next week. Can't wait for it. With that said, let's roll into this goddamn going roundup, baby.
It's time! It's time! It's time!
It's time. It's time.
It is time for...
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
Hey, yeah. Tyler Smith talked to ESPN yesterday, and he was recently asked about his position flex and where he might play. He said, quote, "Just tell me where to go, and I'll go. I'm ready to go wherever I can go to contribute. I'm just ready to keep improving." He also said one thing about it is, just after seeing where I was after my first year has me excited for what the future holds. The work never stops. I can't be more proud of how Tyler Smith handled his rookie year. You know, coming in, full-time tackle in college, really didn't get a chance to work on the nuances of the game. Then 2 weeks before the season, by the way, as he's dealing with an injury, the starting left tackle goes down. They say, "Hey, Tyler, we know you were working at left guard all offseason, but can you kick out the left tackle?" Kicks out the left tackle, does a very solid job out there. Then they kick him inside the guard, does a solid job in there, and he really said this the other day. He's the linchpin. I think he's the linchpin of your offensive line. But I'm just really proud of how he handled it. And I think he's the reason why this front office is so confident in its quote unquote depth, which is a whole nother discussion. But he's probably the main reason why they're able to talk with so much confidence, because they believe this guy can play anywhere. I'd like for them to focus him somewhere and let him develop there. But nonetheless, man, this kid's talented. I have no worries about wherever he's going to be. He's going to hold it down. He's going to be a rock solid contributor for you for years to come. For years to come. But that offensive line's got a magnifying glass on it. I'm telling you that right now. Until they figure it out, we're going to be putting a magnifying glass on that offensive line. So as we get to rookie minicamp, the Cowboys do this every single year. They'll invite some random quarterbacks that usually don't make the team or any team. Sometimes you'll get a guy like, Ben DiNucci, who was quarterback 3 rookie year, came back to rookie minicamp the next year. But there isn't that type of quarterback coming to camp. So they invited quarterback Matthew McKay out of Elon University, which is in North Carolina. Look, most of these quarterbacks don't amount to much, but it is an opportunity for Mr. McKay here. He goes 6'4", 212, and he had 21 touchdowns last year, 4 picks, 458 rushing yards, and 3 touchdowns. Could mean absolutely nothing. But the most important thing for a quarterback like him, hate to say it, isn't really about him. It's about giving these guys a chance to compete, to make a play. We've heard many times down there at rookie minicamp, these insiders say, "Hey man, it was tough to get a gauge on this tight end, or get a gauge on this receiver because the quarterback was just so bad. He wasn't even throwing it in the same area code. I remember having Yeomans on here and Dave Hellman, and I'm like, hey, Dave, tell me about Simi, or hey, Dave, tell me about this guy or that guy. And I'm like, man, look, we can't. Quarterback was terrible. So his job is going to be allow these guys to make a play flat out, because they're not inviting Cooper Rush down there. And obviously Dak Prescott's not going to be down there. Will Greer's been in the league now for 5 years. So he's not going to be down there either. So they need some arms, and they didn't draft a quarterback. So McKay is going to be there to help get these guys the ball. And that leads me into the watch list. Damon said Ben D was better than Rush. Look, I don't know if you were here during the season. I'm not going to sit here and prop up Cooper Rush like he's this amazing quarterback. But there is no way. You really believe that? You really believe Ben DiNucci? Let me make sure I read it right. Ben D was better than Rush. You didn't watch that Eagles game, and that's what you came away with. I'm talking about the Eagles game that Ben DiNucci played in. Interesting. Cooper Rush is 5-1, man. I mean, I know the defense and offense and everybody helped him out and everything, but I really can't say that. Now, if you wanted to go Will Greer, I liked Will Greer. Look, man, and now Rush sucks. Are you one of those Dak Prescott sucks guys too? Look, I'm not about to sit here and cap for Cooper Rush, y'all. But damn it, Ben DiNucci's better than Cooper Rush. What are we doing? Ben DiNucci is sucking in the XFL, but he's better than Cooper Rush. Come on, bro. What is happening here? We got to be better than that. We got to be better than that. What was I saying here before I was rudely interrupted with that nonsense? Oh, the rookie minicamp stuff here. McKay leads me into the rookie minicamp watch list. And if you guys don't remember, we did this last year and I had fun with it. I did a little bit from our guy.
You just made the list.
The Hall of Famer, future Hall of Famer. That is the list of Jericho. So let's just get into it, man. Should be a very easy, quick, simple show today. Won't keep y'all too long. All right, we got 4 different things. Let's talk about the first 2. We'll take a quick little break and see what you guys have to say about this list so far. First up on the list, I have the tight ends and H-backs, their placement. Okay, what do you mean by that? So Hunter Lipke is in here as a fullback H-back role. Princeton Fant is coming in here as a H-back, fullback, tight end, whatever role. Both of these dudes aren't your traditional players at any position. So where are they going to put them? I'm keeping my eye on those 2 guys for sure. And the bigger question might be for Fant, because Fant was moved from wide receiver to tight end, but he doesn't have the tight end body. We don't believe he's going to be a tight end in the NFL, or at least for the Cowboys. So he's probably going to be more of that H-back role. And one of the guys that we compared him to was Jameis Olawale for the Cowboys. Wasn't quite a fullback, wasn't quite a tight end, but was an H-back, did a lot of those things for Oakland. He didn't really do all those things for the Cowboys. So I'm going to keep my eye on Hunter. And then the other thing with Hunter Lipke is the shoulder situation. Now, that was months ago. He should be fully recovered, but we'll see. I'm not sure if he's really going to be out there running around, because in the pro day, well, he's not running around, but getting active, because in the pro day, they didn't allow him to kind of put the pads on because he was still at the final stages of recovery. So that's another thing to keep an eye on. And when it comes to the injury, that's what I want to see from, I know it sounds crazy, Lou Schoolman. I'm not saying that he's an injured guy or anything, but he did not finish his pro day due to a leg injury. So how is he moving out there? Is he over that? Or is he a guy that kind of has to kind of sit out a little bit as we get geared up for minicamp and mandatory minicamp and training camp? I don't know. I haven't gotten an update on his leg injury. He also has some shoulder injuries as well that ended his potential bid to go into, I think it was the East-West Shrine game, and I believe ended his season again in that TCU game. I say ended his season. It was the last game of the season, but he didn't finish because of the shoulder injury. So how was he moving out there? I already know he's going to be moved all over the place, so I'm not worried about where he's going to be placed. But when it comes to, I almost said Noah Fant, Princeton Fant, and Hunter Lipke, where are they going to be placed? Tight ends, H-backs.
You just made the list.
You made the list. I'm watching you or listening. The other one, where do the versatile rookies focus at? That was the term immediately that I thought of when I say term, I mean versatile. When the Cowboys completed their draft, I looked at 6 of the 8 picks, I think it was, and I'm like, okay, the theme here is versatility. They want to have the flex to move a guy here or there if it doesn't work out at that specific position, right? And you can even go further into the undrafted guys. There's some versatility there as well. We just talked about it with the fans of the world and the Lipkes. But where do guys like Asim Richards play at? We talked about Asim Richards over on Vacha's show the other day. A tackle who didn't really start playing tackle until the end of his high school career. So he's interesting because he has tackle experience in college, but he's been playing football since he was 8. And so he's only has 4 years of tackle experience. So he's still developing as a tackle. But you heard Coach Solari say, hey, he got position flex as well. So we're going to work him as a tackle, guard, tackle. He even threw in the word center in there, but I don't know if we'll see that or not. So where are they going to focus him at? Because I don't know if they're going to move him all over the place in rookie minicamp. They may test him, though. They may. But where are they going to focus him at? Because he's got what I call, he's got a very well-rounded game. I don't think he's deficient so bad in one thing that it doesn't get you excited. He's just needs to continue to develop. I like his length. He's not a strong guy, so I guess you can call the strength a deficiency. So, he's got to get stronger at the point of attack, but I liked his anchor in the pass protection. I thought he was really solid in that. The Notre Dame game against Foskey, I thought he handled Foskey really well. So where are they going to focus him? Tackle. They're going to move him into guard. They're going to start him at guard. That's something that I want to keep my eye on when it comes to Awesome Richards. Don't get me started on the name because as we talk about wrestlers here, The Miz has a perfect theme music for Awesome Richards, but it is what it is. Junior Fehoko. Where's Junior Fehoko going to line up? Where are they going to focus him at? Played mainly defensive end or 5 tech, whatever you want to call it there in the Mountain West, and won defensive player of the year out there. We talked about the power of those Island boys, man. There's something about those guys. Now, we didn't quite hit on another dude in Bradley and Nye, but Fehoko just continued to improve down there in the Mountain West, and he plays with a strength and a motor, and I'm going to tear your head off. I'm getting to the quarterback. It ain't technically sound all the time. It ain't pretty, but it's nasty. Strong hands, run stopping type of guy. Even though he had a ton of sacks, I look at him more as a run guy for this team. Where are they going to focus him at? We heard Coach Floyd say, we look at him as potential interior guy, but he said down the line. And it didn't seem like Coach Floyd had media training just quite yet because he was giving out some sauce. If you go listen to that interview, and not just about Junior Fehoko, but he was giving out some sauce about the potential scheme changes. But they view him, it sounds like, according to Floyd, as a defensive end, then we'll move you inside as you put on more weight. And he said, yeah, we're going to look to get him in the rotation. And I say, how at defensive end? As a rookie. This isn't a dude that's going to wow you with his athleticism. He isn't going to wow you with his technique as a pass rusher. And when you're going up against better tackles that are more athletic, more experienced, deal with better players throughout their careers, I think it's going to be tougher for him to win on the edge in the league right now. So I wonder if that gets sped up. I wonder if his transition on the interior gets sped up and he plays more 3-tech with the Chauncey and with the and Osa. So that's something I'm focusing on. Where the hell are they going to line up Junior Fehoko? Doesn't mean that they're not even hitting right now, but I just want to know where is he getting most of his reps at? And then obviously the biggest versatile guy, the most popular versatile guy is Demo, the Marvion Overshown. Is he going to be doing safety things? Is he going to be doing linebacker things? Pass rushing. Do they focus him at one spot right now and then wait till the veterans get in, I believe next week or so, and start to incorporate him elsewhere? Or do they just throw him in the fire and say, look, we want to see what he has as a cover guy. Go out there and cover Schoolmaker. Go out there and cover Stevens Jr. Go out there and cover, a wide receiver. We just want to see where you're at. And then they send him to the other end of the field. Go down there with Junior and them and go pass rush. Then they run his ass back to the other end of the field. Come over here with the linebackers. I wouldn't mind them throwing him in the fire. Sometimes if you listen to my guy, Jesse Alley, he talks about how these rookie minicamps, they'll throw you into the fire. They'll just throw a bunch of things at you just to see how you handle it. I wouldn't mind them doing that with Demo. Let's just see where he's at. It's rookie minicamp. And then once you get here next week, then you focus him in on something. But just test him out day one and then say, okay, we like what we saw at the linebacker spot. Let's kind of focus him in. Or we like what we saw from a coverage standpoint. When we're done with linebacker things, let's put him back over there with the safeties. Biggest wild card of the draft to me, man. Demo. He could be an extreme boom player because he has a talent. I don't want to use the word bust, or he can be kind of another project that we just quite don't know what to do with yet. And we've had plenty of those projects. So I'm looking at that. Versatile rooks.
You just made the list.
Just made the list, man. Mark said this is going to be interesting for sure. He's not a middle linebacker, says Danny. No, I don't believe he's a middle linebacker. I did get that question, though, a couple weeks ago. Is Demo? No, I don't see him as a middle linebacker. Don't see it. T-Dub, he'll go against right tackles. I'm guessing you're talking about Fehoko. Hey, Tom, Junior only has one name. He only has one name. Yes, the guru. I agree. In regards to, he says, we are really super thin at linebacker and a lot of inexperience. I agree with that part. That's going to hurt us as season goes on. We'll see what happens there. But yeah, there is a lot of inexperience at the linebacker position. The one saving grace, or what could potentially be a saving grace for the linebacker room, is that they got a Mozzie Smith in front of them now. They've got a full season, hopefully, of a Jonathan Hankins in front of them, where that wasn't the case last year, in reality, in years past either. And if we listen to Coach Floyd, let me see if I still have that audio actually. But if you listen to Coach Floyd, he brings up, there it goes. He brings up kind of the scheme change that's going to happen to allow these linebackers to stay free. Here we go.
This year, we really going to focus on disrupting our keys.
Did y'all hear that? Y'all probably heard it, but I didn't. Boom. Bow. All right, one more time for the one time.
This year, we're really going to focus on disrupting our keys, knocking back that guy as opposed to looking in the backfield. I think by doing so, we'll give the linebackers a chance to play in their gaps as opposed to always trying to fight to get in their gap on a down, So it's most definitely important, and we're going to definitely fix those things and play harder in those areas this year to make the defense better.
That's what I mean by I don't know if he was media trained. You didn't hear. Go look at Scott McCurley. Scott McCurley been around. They brought Scott McCurley, and they just kept asking him, "Hey, what you gonna do with Demo? What you going?" Hey man, we'll see when he get here. We'll figure it out. We like they can do this and that. We'll figure it out. Coach Floyd said, "Hey dog, we changing up everything up front. We're keeping the linebackers clean. We're not penetrating no more. We're gonna hold it." But no, in all seriousness though, I believe him. I think there is going to be a different responsibility now that Mozzie and Hankins are here, because we saw how vital Jonathan Hankins was in keeping the linebackers clean and causing those traffic car accidents in the backfield, holding up double teams so dudes can get to their assignments, get to their keys, their gaps. I don't think that was a coincidence that they took Mozzie Smith. I think it had to do with how they saw Jonathan Hankins. So that is kind of the saving grace if they decide to roll with this young group. This young group is athletic enough. When it comes to Damone Clark, I think a year is extremely big for him because I think he's a smart kid. He's a determined kid, and I think he'll be fine at the linebacker position. Can they hold up health-wise? Because they're not deep when it comes to proven dudes. It's a bunch, like you said, young, inexperienced dudes. But if I can get some determined, heady, athletic guys behind Mozzie Smith and Hankins that can keep them clean, maybe we'll be on to something. Yeah, Marcus said he looked like he could play. Coach Floyd definitely looked like he could still play out there. Now, I know y'all probably like, why isn't Mozzie Smith on the list? And he's not. I don't have Mozzie Smith. And here's why I don't have Mozzie Smith on the list. The only thing you can probably gauge from Mozzie Smith out there is how big he is next to everybody else. You want to see Mozzie Smith in pads, right? You want to see Mozzie Smith against, no offense, Austin Richards, but Tyler Smith, Zach Martin, Tyler Biadasz. And we're just not really going to be able to see the impact of Mozzie Smith likely until training camp. Now, we're going to get some videos, mandatory mini camps and stuff where they got the helmets on and Mozzie Smith just popped somebody in the chest and he got that knockback power. But I'm holding out until we get to training camp, till the Cowboys get down there and they put the pads on, because that's when you're going to feel Mozzie Smith. It's really hard to get a gauge on offense and defensive linemen from a physical standpoint until we get to training camp. So I'm excited to see him down there. It's going to be a while, but he ready to take somebody's head off. Well, maybe we will get a video. Maybe we'll get one of these clips where Mozzie Smith wasn't supposed to go that hard and he ended up putting Austin Richards on his ass. Might be a thing. Might be a thing. Mozzie is a huge man. Caustic Mozzie is a huge man, and it was Patrick Walker who came on here and said, I don't think we're really understanding how big this dude is. We finna see though. Let's see here. Floyd even brought. Okay, Coach Floyd probably put the pads on in camp. Look, one thing I like about Dan Quinn is he gets active. I'm really excited to see if Coach Floyd gets active. AD is active too. I've seen Coach AD. He's probably just as vocal as Dan, honestly. Just as vocal. All right, let's get to the second part of the list. So we talked about the H-backs. We talked about the versatile guys. I want to see how Deuce Vaughn handles the kicking game duties. It may seem minuscule. It may seem small. Pun intended. Because he is small. But we just heard yesterday when we did our rating and draft series about Deuce Vaughn. And he talked about how important it was to start handling punts. Because he realized, as his mentor also realized, that getting on the field early for a guy like him, a role player, satellite back guy that's not a high draft pick, the fastest and easiest way is special teams. He ain't going to be on special teams tackling nobody. But he'll be on special teams returning punts, returning kicks. And he said for 3 months, he was just working on catching punts every single day. And bad weather, good weather, didn't matter, to the point where he can get comfortable enough to head into rookie camp and give it a go. Now, I know he's going to make a lot of wild plays in the pass game. I know he's going to make a lot of wild plays when he gets a handoff and he's taking somebody's ankles, because he's got ridiculous quickness and elusiveness. Sidebar. Somebody yesterday after Vacha's show came in the comment section and said, Deuce Vaughn has average elusiveness. Sir. You couldn't possibly watch Deuce Vaughn and come away with average elusiveness. There's just not a chance. I'm not an advocate for watching highlights. I'm not. But just put all the damn highlights. And you came away with he has average elusiveness. And y'all wonder why Angry Sky be coming out. Anyway, but I want to know how he handles the punt things, the kicking things, because if he wants to impress this staff early, if he wants to put more competition in multiple rooms, that's how he's going to do it. You know how I feel right now. I'm very confident in the fact that he'll make this team and he'll have a even if it's not a big role, have some sort of a role in the offense, according to Mike McCarthy, unless he just doesn't prove it in camp and preseason. But if he really wants to put the heat on multiple rooms, it's going to have to be in the kicking game duties as well. And what better way to give more reason to get you involved on the offense than showing that you can do things and you can do damage in punt return or kick return, however they want to do it. Now, I know we have a lot of fun with Kevontae Turpin, but I do think if Deuce shows anything, this is true, real competition. He's not the only one. There's other dudes out there too. Speaking of which, they play the wide receiver position. And this is where I think the most competitive battle will be. Cornerbacks versus the wide receivers. Look, we can't hit out there. The offensive line can't push guys around. The defensive line can't do anything from a penetrating standpoint. The running backs can't truck nobody. The linebackers can't tackle. But since the beginning of time, since free for all, since 7-on-7, since one-on-ones, cornerbacks and wide receivers, it don't matter if they get the pads or not. They're going to go out there and try to catch the rock on you or stop you from catching the rock. I don't need the pass to see if you can move a little bit. You can cover a little bit. And when you look at the drafted guys / undrafted guys like Moreno Cropper, Jalen Brooks, David Durden versus Eric Scott and Miles Brooks. Miles Brooks, one of those kind of coveted undrafted guys. Eric Scott Jr., 6th-round pick. They traded a 5th-round pick for to go up and get. Physical corners. Going up against route runners like a Moreno Cropper. A physical guy like Jalen Brooks. An underdog guy like David Durden. Ooh, that's going to be the one. When we come here on Monday, yeah, all these other things I'm talking about 100% matter. But this is kind of going to be the real substance. I feel like we'll be able to get a gauge on these young bucks from a competitive standpoint at the very least. Now, does any of this end up translating? That's not what we're getting at. We're not saying, hey, man, if dude's on, he going to be this. Or, hey, man, if Hunter Lipke does this, he going to be that. No, we just kind of want to watch. Same thing with the corners. If Eric Scott's a shutdown guy or Moreno Cropper is just tearing dudes up, it doesn't mean it's going to translate. This just all means things we want to watch, developing some momentum for next week, because that's important. Getting confidence when these veterans get here. And I feel like this cornerback versus wide receiver room is going to be one of those battles where somebody can develop some damn confidence. What battle are you most looking forward to? It doesn't have to be cornerback, wide receiver. If you got another one, if you got, say, Demo versus Deuce Vaughn out the backfield or something, that's cool. But what are you most looking forward to? Let me make it more general. What are you most looking forward to watching or hearing about out of Cowboys rookie minicamp? For me, it's the cornerbacks versus the receivers. I feel like that group is going to be ultra competitive. Mendoza says Miles his guy. Oscar says the receivers. Yeah, if I had to pick a receiver, it's a lot of fun ones down there too. Jalen Brooks, a 7th-round pick. He probably going to make a couple highlight catches. But I want to hear about David Durden. I don't have a bunch of all 22 film of West Florida, Kentucky State, ITT Tech University. I don't got that tape. All we got is the highlights, and you can barely see anything there besides like his hands. So I want to see him or hear about him at least. I want to hear about Cropper. from a route running standpoint. Dude's got quick feet. Now I got some tape of that dude. I'm really interested to see him against some of these quicker cornerbacks. He might actually be trouble for a guy like Miles Brook if they do some, slot type stuff. But if they're just one-on-one physical stuff, Jalen Brooks versus Miles Brooks. I don't know what they're going to do with Stevens. I believe it's Stevens Jr., the biggest wide receiver the Cowboys have down there. 6'5", goes about 230. Look, he might even convert to a tight end. Who knows? But I'm not trying to compare him. I'm just doing the size thing. He might be this year's TJ Vasher, meaning big wide receiver making these 50-50 jump ball type of plays. Difference is TJ Vasher was 6'6", 190 pounds, right? Where this guy's 6'5", I think like 230 plus. So he could potentially move into tight end at some point. Let's see here. Mendoza says, I'm with this guy. The receivers versus the cornerbacks. Really interested in seeing Drummond. Oh, yeah, that's another guy down there, Drummond, right? He should probably be down there. Interested to see his progression, and I've got my eyes on Miles. CT Madhead says Isaiah Land. Yeah, and like I said, it's tough to get a gauge on the defenders, but I do want to hear about his get off. I remember during Micah Parsons' rookie minicamp and Sam Williams' rookie minicamp, we heard about their athleticism. Hey, man, this dude got a quick step. This dude is fast. So I'm with you. I do kind of want to hear about Land. And hell, where are they going to put Land? Is he going to be a defensive end? Is he going to be a guy that they move back at linebacker? Something to keep an eye on. Dennis Houston is signed to a CT Madhead. He's signed to a futures contract. I would imagine Dennis Houston is going to be there. Only, you know what? I don't know now. Actually, when I think about it, CT, because Dennis Houston made the roster. He was very integral in their camp last year. He might not need it in that sense, but I mean, he didn't play. He got cut again. I would run him out there. I personally would. So I don't know if he'll be down there, CT Madhead, but Dennis Houston is back on the team. What else would you guys like to see down there or hear about? Because we're not going to see a whole lot, but we'll hear about it. Bobby says, I hope Deuce can make it, but I'd like to see more of Turpin as a receiver. Give him a shot. I'll be fair. Let's give Cavante Turpin a shot at receiver and see what happens here. I'm not going to be that guy. CJ, how is Tony Pollard's injury coming along? No new update. The last update we heard is him and Terrence Steele are ahead of schedule, and they'll be good to go for training camp. I don't like to quote the big letter networks, but they're not the only ones saying this stuff. But there's a lot of people who doubt the Cowboys offensively from a skill position. And one of the things that they say is, well, Tony Pollard, we don't know how he's going to boom, 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 boom. He's coming off of a major injury. He's not going to that's what I'm hearing a lot of. Could be me being naive. Could be me being biased. I'm not sweating it. I don't know why. Y'all tell me how y'all feel about Tony Pollard coming back off his injury. I'm just not really tripping about him coming off of his injury. I feel like it's 2023, man. He didn't suffer some catastrophic career-ending injury. I get it is a leg injury. So I get people are a bit concerned, but there are people going to extremes. Hey, man, Tony Pollard, man, he tore his leg off. He ain't going to be the same. Or their running back room suffered because Tony Pollard tore his leg. I don't know, man. I'm not really tripping about it. Now, if he go out there and he looks bad, then I'll get concerned. But until I see him, I'm just not really tripping about it, man. I'm just not. Especially since we're hearing he's ahead of schedule. Should be good, but we don't know, says Mark. Yeah. It may not be the mental. I'm not sure what that means, T-Dub. Well, I know for one of the. So Law said they're just hating. I do know one of the dudes that's his shtick about the team. But I've heard other people, Cowboy fans, even go as far as say, I don't know about Tony Pollard. I just gotta see it, man. That's true, Sully. If his bone popped out, I would 100% be a little nervous. He did fracture. and it was a ligament sprain or whatever, a high ankle sprain. Dude's got 6 months to recover. That's all, man. That's all. QV says, considering it was bone and not ligament, I think he'll be okay. So it was a little ligament because of the sprain, but it wasn't like he just completely ripped his ligament apart. And I'm with you, the bone part. And plus, I'm not a doctor. But we did bring a doctor on here. And maybe that's another reason why I feel really confident. He was talking about how the injury is not a significant one in the sense that you should be worried that he doesn't fully recover. Now, if you want to say, well, Sky, what about the mental aspect of it? That I can't measure. I can't measure that. I do know when we talk about like ACL injuries, PCL injuries, these injuries that take dudes out for full seasons, I often bring up Malik Hooker, Michael Gallup. These two dudes talk about how, hey, man, you know, the physical aspect, I'm fine, but the mental aspect, I'm not. Will TP fall into that same trap of, hey, I'm physically fine, but I'm mentally not ready to cut or all this stuff? I don't know. I feel like he a running back, man. Second nature is the cut. That's what he do. So we'll see. We'll see. Let's get 480 in here. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning, Scott. It's your boy Domino.
Domino, what's going on?
Chilling. Yeah, I think everybody relax on the TP thing because we had Dr. Booth in here talking about how easy it is to recover from those injuries.
I know, and like I said, I think that might be why I'm a little bit confident. He was not particularly worried about the injury from a full recovery standpoint.
Right. And then he had Zeke to see how Zeke handled injuries. I mean, Zeke did a thing for the last, 4 years with injuries. TP should know how to handle it by now. He's professional. He's been in the game for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, and he doesn't.
Stop sweating.
Yeah, and he doesn't have the same wear and tear. Now he's been getting dinged up lately, but he doesn't have 1,600 touches in his career. He's probably one of the most unique lead backs we have in this league now, because he was a RB2 for most of his career and really didn't start getting touches till 2021, if we're being honest. So it's not like he's got so many carries on his body. So we'll see.
Right, that was it, Scott. You have a good morning.
All right, man. Appreciate you, big dog.
No problem.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to see him get back out there. Not gonna lie to you. 727. What it is, what it do?
Hey, what's up there, Mr. Scott? This is Mr. Amos again.
Is who?
How you been? Mr. Amos.
Famous Amos. What's good, Mr. Amos?
Nothing much there, my friend. One thing I'm hoping, I usually see every preseason when Dallas throws that experimental, crappy offensive line out there, and they try to block and try to do whatever, and the players that we think are good seem to don't shine because they don't have adequate blocking or the quarterbacks have adequate protection to get to those receivers.
Oh, yeah. For preseason?
So I'm just saying it might not look good. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I just just scream, because I know we count on Deuce, but, we shouldn't take the preseason games too, at heart because he might not have no blocking. Because they might be all over. Because if the familiar pattern that's been going before every preseason, it's not going to be pretty. We got one of the battles I was looking for.
Okay.
What you say there?
We got a long way to preseason. Yeah, but every year I say the same thing. It's really not about the result there. You got to kind of dissect the preseason games. But we a long way from that. But go ahead with one of the things you're looking for Rookie Minicamp.
Yeah, well, I hope that the guards it merge. I looking forward to see how how he does.
Austin Richards, yeah.
Oh yeah, because I still think that there's a glaring need at guard. And
Sure.
as far as they were talking about Pollard, I mean, I think it's a different mentality when you're a running back. Because you're taught, you hit the hole when you see it, and he's one of those running backs that when he see a hole, he will hit it. It's different, when you're trying to do a cut in the secondary or you're a receiver or you're trying to hold someone up. His mindset, all along has been a running back is just go. I have no worries about him whatsoever. I do have concerns about Jones being a native of Tampa Bay. I watched him run. He's a runner, but he's also a fumbler. So maybe it'd be good for them to pick up another back.
One of those. Well, I wouldn't mind more competition. Not gonna say a lot, even though I'm a Jones fan. But man, when I heard that too, I heard a lot of people say, oh man, Ronald Jones fumbling problem. I was like, hey, let me go see because I hate that. Right? I went and looked. I was like, what constitutes as a fumbling problem? Because I looked at his stats over the last 3 years, and he got let me go back here. It was 3 fumbles or something, 4 fumbles. I'm like, is that a fumbling problem? Because if that's the damn case, we had a fumbling problem here. He wore number 21 for a little bit. He had an issue. Now he got it together last year.
About the same, because I'm not a Bucs fan, and I've been born and raised in the Tampa Bay area, and I'm kind of like anti-Bucs. I kind of laugh when they lose, and I see that Jones had made me smile, being a little bit anti-Bucs because the fumble that I've seen at least let it go at least about 2 or 3 times when unexpected.
So there you go.
So
here you go.
Times in one time 2 minutes.
His last 2 years in 3 years. First year he had 3 fumbles. Not great. You don't want to have 3 fumbles, right?
Yeah.
The second year with more carries, he had 2 fumbles, so 1 down. Third year, he had 2 fumbles again. When I was doing the Ronald Jones study and I went and looked at, other running backs and whatnot, there were guys who fumbled the ball at a higher rate than him. But that is one of the things I hear about Ronald Jones. Oh man, this is a fumbling machine. I'm like, 200 touches over.
No, I would say machine.
But people were saying that though. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
People were saying that.
No,
a dude who got over 200.
I'm not gonna co-sign on that.
And 50 touches and fumbled the ball 2 times. I mean, it's not ideal, but it ain't that damn serious.
No. He a hard runner. Because one thing
he only got 9 fumbles, Mike Russell. He don't got 9. He got 4 fumbles in the last 2 seasons, but in his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-year career, he does have 7 total. So
I've seen him let the ball go.
Yeah.
But he's running. But he would get you those yards. And when I saw him, when the first time I saw him against the Cowboys, I said, well, the Cowboys gonna underestimate him. But then again, he may let it go. But I'm happy when he's on the team. I really am. But I'm just gonna cringe a little bit when he gets the ball. So I think it's a good addition. I don't think they're gonna cut him. Like I said, he hits the hole. One problem I had with Zeke. Zeke wants to dance in a hole. He doesn't hit the hole necessarily when he sees it with the type of speed he can to gain more yards. And I think that last game exploited him big time. His last body of work is telling how he is because he couldn't do nothing for the team. It seemed like he was a liability while he was out there, and I can't see any way whatsoever how they would re-sign him. Finally, I'm gonna make this point with you. I went to me and you about this Gallup thing. I went back and I looked at Gallup and I said, you know what? I'm happy. I hope that Gallup comes. But the reason why I went to go look at him again is because I was trying to see what type of competition he went against. And I think that sometimes, he had a separation problem. And sometimes some of the average
sir,
corners
he's not a separator. That's never been his game.
Yes.
But when you say what type of competition, I watched Michael Gallup, beat some good corners in his day. I've seen it. Hello?
Yeah, well, I was trying to by name, that name calling me good because everybody in the NFL is good. But but him on his game, he's pretty good. I hope that that I have confidence, in facing him for next year anyway, because of the West Coast offense, and I think McCarthy would do a good job of putting him so he can be successful at what he does. That's all I got to say, young man.
My guy, appreciate you, James.
And all right, take care, brother.
You as well. Let me lock these up right now. Boom, boom. All right, let's go to the next call. We'll just do that. We got a couple more left here. 801. What it is, what it do. gonna fly through these. What's good?
How's it going, Sky?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. Hey, great show the past couple days. I tried to call into your show yesterday, and I tried to call in the botches and just didn't have timing work out. But all the talk about Deuce Vaughn has me think about something. I wanted to get your thoughts on it. I am really excited for when the Cowboys decide to run like a pro set where they have 2 wide receivers, a tight end, and 2 backs. And so if you have a formation where maybe you're 20 yards out from the end zone, I'm just trying to think of how big of a problem that's going to be for opposing defenses if you have Deuce and Tony in the backfield, and then Lamb and Cooks out wide with maybe Schoonmaker or Ferguson as that tight end. I think there's so many different plays that can be run off that just thinking about that set gets me so excited.
Yeah, it's funny because last year it was bad. We didn't really run it well. We showed some flashes in 2021, specifically in Week 1 against the Bucks when we ran the two running back set. This year, though, if a guy like Hunter Lipke makes the team, I think we're going to see more fullback running back combination than we'll see Tony Pollard and Deuce on the field at the same time. Like, I think we'll see that as a specialty package. They'll try to throw in a wrinkle against a team, but I think we'll see a whole lot more if Hunter Lipke or if a fullback makes this team. If we get a fullback on the team, I think you'll see more fullback than you'll see those 2 guys. But if they are out there, man, you could do some fun things. You can motion one out, get one-on-one with a linebacker, because if you come out in a, that wouldn't necessarily be a 11 or what have you, because there's not 3 receivers. But if you come out 2 receivers, a tight end, and 2 backs, depending on how the defense adjusts, they could say, well, let's come out in our base or our running situation because they got 2 running backs. But if you do that, you put an extra linebacker out there, Tony Pollard and Deuce can make you pay. So that will be something fun to watch if they do it.
I'm just thinking of who you key into, because literally any of those players that were out there at that time could do something. And I think, the options that you could run out of that. I mean, I understand what you're saying with maybe Lipke or a fullback being kind of that blocker.
Yeah.
But I'm almost thinking like all of your playmakers can be on the field. You have Deuce and Tony potentially going separate directions. You have Lamb and Cooks going crazy on the top. Like, I don't know how defenses are going to key in and say, okay, here's where we're going to focus.
If they could catch a team off guard like they did with the Bears, I always bring this back, but because I thought it was clever. They came out with that 0 running back, 3 tight ends, and the Bears went heavy, and they said, all right, let's go hurry up and keep them out there. Say they catch a team, coming out in a heavy defense with that personnel set, I say stay on it. Have a plan, dribble with a purpose, and just march down the field with the advantage. And the advantage could be beyond, TP and Deuce. It also could be with your tight end, depending on who they may not have their covering linebacker out there. So Jake Ferguson or Luke Schoonmaker can make them pay. So yeah, it's a fun set to think about. So I can't wait to see how they decide to utilize it.
Yeah, I'm so much more excited going into this season. I mean, I know you're just talking about Gallup, but I honestly think he'll come back. I don't know if he'll be quite 2019 Gallup, because I'm not trying to get my hopes too high.
Yeah,
but I do think he'll have a bit of a bounce back season with Cooks and Lamb.
Yeah, I'm not holding my breath, but if we kind of project, okay, a full year removed from the injury, I can't help but think he'll be better. How much better? That's to remain to be seen. But I don't know how he regresses a year removed from the ACL. I think he'll be better, and he'll have more help this year than he did last year. I don't think we're going to rely on Michael Gallup to be wide receiver 2. Michael Gallup can kind of just fit in as a third option possession guy, 50-50 jump ball type of guy, and they can kind of take advantage of the rest of the offense. So he'll be better. How much better? Work the contract better? That's a whole nother discussion. All I care about is get better, Michael Gallup.
Well, it's harder for him to be worse than he was last year. So
that's facts. I mean, that's facts. Yeah.
Well, anyway, thanks, guys. Great call.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man. Good call. I ain't gonna lie. I look, when we had Kellen Moore out here, and we had the 2 personnel, or the 21 with Zeke and TP. Zeke just didn't. He just never really did it for me in that set. But he ran some cool plays, right? Where he did a play action. He had Tony Pollard come out the backfield. You get a quick swing pass out of it. I do want them to keep that. keep that, Mike McCarthy, and use it with Deuce and use it with TP, because now, which way did he go? Which way? You don't know who is getting that swing pass, who is getting a handoff. One of these guys might be running a deep route. One of them might be running a shallow route. So I think you can unlock that package a little bit more. I don't know that it's something they'll see weekly, because I think we'll run a Hunter Lipke, or let's say we decided to keep McEwen. I don't even know if they do it with McEwen, honestly. But if they decide to keep McEwen, we'll see more McEwen as a fullback. But it feels like Hunter Lipke gonna make this team. We ain't even see him in pads yet. He could be an absolute bust, or I don't use the word bust, a bum. But it just feels like they want a fullback. That's your guy right there. That's your guy. I got you, Marv. Hold tight. 240, you are live on A to Z Sports Live. What's up?
What's up, Scott? How you doing, bro?
What's up with you, man? I'm good.
That's what's up, man. Just real quick, I just want to touch on, I know there's a lot of talk been on this left guard situation, man.
Yes, sir.
It's baffling to me. It's baffling to me, and let me just go real fast, man. I just want to, when that 49ers game ended, to me, I was like, all right, what do we need to really upgrade this team so we can at least beat the 49ers next time, because we come to that again. I'm like, okay, we need to keep Dan Quinn, check mark. We need a second receiver, check mark. We need a team corner, check mark. We needed more speed and athleticism on offense, check mark. We need somebody to come in and help Hankins with the run stopping, check mark. We need a kicker. We ain't addressed that yet. So to me, that's a big issue right there. We need a kicker, check mark. And it just seems like, and I understand we want to get back. Let me ask you, if we would have retained Connor McGovern, do you think we would still be talking? We would still probably want to upgrade from Connor McGovern.
Yeah.
But do you think it would be this much talk about left guard?
No, of course not, because Connor McGovern proved that you can still operate your offense at a high level without him being really a game-changing type of left guard or what have you, right? So, no, you wouldn't have that. Correct. The reason why you're having a conversation is because you don't have a guy that's been proven at the left guard position, over a couple of years. And I don't think Connor McGovern was all that great, but he wasn't a complete bust. He wasn't a guy that was a liability that didn't allow your offense to operate. So, I don't think we would be having this conversation
if he was still there. I agree with that. And that's to my point, which is exactly what you just said. It wasn't great. So to me, he's much easier. He was our fifth best lineman, sixth if you want to include Tyron. So he was like the worst out of the bunch that we're replacing. Yeah, but I feel like if we would have lost Zach Martin and we would have handled the off season the same way we did with losing Conor McGovern, I would see why we're speaking so much about the guard situation. But losing Conor McGovern, I feel like it's so much easier to replace a Conor McGovern than it seems like a lot of people feel like that, because it seems like that's all we talk. To me, I think our biggest loss our bigger issue is who's playing right tackle. Because we see when Tyron replaced Terrence Steele, we couldn't run the ball no more. I feel like we should be talking about right tackle more than we're talking about left guard. Because I think it's easier to replace.
Your right tackle is Terrence Steele. Did you forget about Terrence?
No. I ain't forget about Terrence. I'm talking about the beginning. Terrence. We don't know when Terrence is coming back. If Terrence is healthy, I'm with you. But Terrence got injured. He had an ACL, like we were just talking about Pollard. That's a different injury than what Pollard got.
He's also an offensive lineman. He's not a receiver. So, and all word is, I don't know if you've seen Terrence still moving around, but is that he's ahead of schedule. He'll be good to go for training camp. So I'm just going off of what's out there. So I'm not really worried about right tackle because I think Terrence Steele is going to be good to go. So I don't really agree that right tackle is a bigger deal than left guard. But can't you understand why people are talking about left guard? You lost McGovern and you didn't replace him. So that, of course people are going to talk about it because you didn't replace him. I know you say it's easier to replace him, but guess what? You didn't. So that's why people are going to talk about it.
I got you.
Yeah.
And I understand. And I don't want to say like it's not an important thing to replace McGovern, but I just like to the point that you're saying and to the point that I'm really thinking about, I just don't think it's going to be that hard to Like just like with we lost Connor Williams. I don't think it was that hard to replace Connor Williams. But like I mentioned earlier, if this was that and we didn't draft a lineman to the 4th round, then I can see why.
I think there's more to it than that though, because when you lost Connor Williams, you had Connor McGovern. You know what I'm saying? So you could kind of say, okay, look, we saw Connor McGovern get starts at left guard. We know Connor McGovern can go in there and at least your offense should be fine. Chima Edoga, we have no clue. You know, I love Austin Richards. We really don't know. Josh Ball, come on, what are we talking about? Terrence Steele playing left guard? What the hell are we doing out here? So you could have a little bit more. Okay, we lost Connor.
What about Farniak?
Oh, he was terrible last year. So he's another guy that got to improve too. He was awful. You know, he's probably your worst offensive lineman on the team last year. You know, that got a chance to play. Oh, well, Josh Ball too. But he was not good. So there is an obvious concern at the position, and I think it's a fair concern. You might be right. Maybe it'll be easy to replace Connor McGovern. But the fact of the matter is they have not replaced Connor McGovern with a guy that's been proven at the position. And no, Chima Edoga's 55 snaps at left guard in his career is not proven. So we just kind of on a wait and see approach there, man.
No, I got you. I mean, I guess I understand what you're saying, but I guess the way I'm looking at it is like it's kind of like when the Bulls was winning championships and they lost John Paxson. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, yeah, he needs to be replaced, but all right, we can find a shooter. You know what I'm saying? And I know a left guard is not hard. It's not a really easy position to find, but I just think with the level of play that Connor McGovern was giving us, I don't feel like it's that hard to find somebody that will give you a Connor McGovern. Whether it's somebody on our team or we just get somebody on free agency later or whatever, I don't think that's a big – because, I mean, we already got, Deontay's Pro Bowler, Zach Martin Pro Bowler, Tyler Smith, if he continue, he's going to be a few Pro Bowlers.
So,
still don't know if he ever made it, but he plays on that level. But Connor McGovern, like, I don't look like, okay, I feel like he's replaceable. Like, we can find somebody to replace him. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I think it's deeper than that. I think it is. I think we're focused on the wrong thing. Because if we're being technical right now, Tyler Smith's your left guard. Like, if Terrence Steele's playing, they didn't address the guard position. The 5 is going to be Tyron Smith, Tyler Smith, Tyler Biadasz, Zach Martin, Terrence Steele. So technically, your left guard is replaced. The issue though is that you're now relying on Tyron. Because you didn't address the left guard, you're relying on Tyron to be left tackle. If Tyron goes down, which is not even an if, but when Tyron goes down, now you got to kick your boy out to left tackle. So we're playing musical chairs again. Now your left guard situation goes back to being a huge question mark. Now your swing tackle situation is a liability as well. So the offensive line domino effect is scary. So the left guards, I can't just act like it's not a big deal. It is 100% a big deal because there's a domino effect that comes down to it. Now, can coaching help with that? Can a run scheme help with that? Sure. And I'm not saying you have to have 5 first-round draft picks on the offensive line. Or you have to have the second-round guy. But the fact of the matter is, bro, they didn't address it until day 3. And we don't even know if he's going to play guard or not yet. So it is a question mark, bro. It is. And I think it's fair for fans to be concerned about it. It was just to sit back and let's see if we can be okay without addressing that position.
I got you. And I agree, and I'm not disagreeing saying we don't need. I guess I'm probably saying it wrong, but to me, I feel like, I'm more concerned about a kicker right now than I am a left guard.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? That's just where I'm at with it right now. You know, because it's kind of McGovern. Now, like I keep saying, if it was Zach Martin and we had to replace an All-Pro, and we adjusted it, I'd be talking about it just as much as everybody else. But because it's McGovern, and I ain't trying to shit on Connor McGovern, but I just feel like that was our worst offensive lineman last year. I just feel like even if we don't have him right now, whoever it's going to be, I just feel like we can find somebody to replace Connor McGovern. That's all I'm saying, bro. And I'm not trying to like make it seem like left guard position isn't important. Yeah, we lost Conor McGovern. It's not that important. I'm just saying, I just feel like it's going to be easy to replace what we were getting. You know what I'm saying? I think it's going to be easy to replace what we were getting. That's
we
but my bad, man. I ain't trying to hold you up, man.
We finna find out.
Go ahead, my bad.
We finna find out.
You definitely right about that. We definitely will soon find out. And if I'm wrong, then I'll be like, damn, Scott, man. I see why everybody's talking about that left guard position, man. You know, but man, once again, man, much love to you, man. Appreciate what you do, man. Keep doing what you're doing, bro.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, big dog.
All right.
That's pretty much all we can say, right? We about to find out. It just and Conor McGovern wasn't great. Yeah, agree with that 100%. But he brought up the situation. He said if we had brought back Conor McGovern, would we be talking about this? No. So you basically saying he was good enough? No. But there is no Conor McGovern on this team. When you lost Connor Williams, you had Conor McGovern. You lose Conor McGovern, I'm not going to pretend like I got the answer here because we don't know unless it's going to be Tyler Smith. And if it's going to be Tyler Smith, that's a whole different discussion about the domino effect we just talked about with my man on the phone. They're trusting in, did I say Tyler? I meant Tyler Smith. They're trusting in Tyron to play left tackle. I just can't get behind that. Can't get behind it. It affects the depth. I'd much rather him be our swing guy. Maybe Waletzko steps up. Maybe Josh Ball shows. Maybe Doja becomes some Doja, whatever, becomes something. Maybe Matt Forniak is better. It's just playing with fire. I don't like playing with fire. That's why I wanted to address the position. At that spot, I don't like playing with fire. That's all. Marv. Close us out, Marv.
What up, brother? What up? I ain't worried about that.
Oh, I know you ain't. You ain't worried about a damn thing, Marv. I ain't even asking you what you worried about. We know you ain't worried about nothing. But what's on your mind?
Yeah, they just gonna put the best five out there, and just like you say, wait to the camp and let the best man win. What they got to do though, let them guys battle it out for that guard spot.
Yeah,
and then the best guy starts. If they don't, then you can put Tyler Smith there. But let them young boys battle that place out, and then go from there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is Avante Collins still on the team?
I'm not sure. Did Avion actually is what his name is? Did Avion Collins get re-signed? Collins to a futures deal. He's been in the league for a while. I don't even know if those things still exist. Let me see here. Nope, he's a free agent.
He's young though.
No, he's not. He's 30 years old. That's why I said he's been around the league for a while. So I don't think you can.
Oh, he's 30?
Yeah, he's
30?
He's currently a free agent, yeah.
Yeah, so
he's just inexperienced. He ain't really played that much, so.
I'm talking about the guy that came from Minnesota?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. See, that's what I'm saying. He did not play that much in his career.
Oh.
He only started one game in his entire career.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Because in that camp, remember, at right tackle, he played the best out of everybody.
Yeah, I think he got a bit overrated in my opinion, but yeah, I guess he was the best of all the bad tackles. Sure.
Well, they got them new boys in there, and they just need to get in that weight room. They got 3 months. You know what I'm saying? Get stronger, a little bit more stronger. Work on their technique and go from there.
Yeah.
You know, don't be. 'Cause you can't. Everybody ain't gonna have 5-hour program.
Nah. And that's why when I was talking to my man, that's why I said what I said about, look, I get it. We ain't going to have all first round picks, all pro bowlers. So, having a deficiency at one spot of your offensive line, at the end of the day, you should be able to overcome that. And you could argue we did over the last 3 years. Connor Williams, Connor McGovern. But I think you are worse at the position. So now let's just see how do we make the best of this? Because you are worse. Let's just be real. You're worse at the position right now, especially from a depth standpoint. You might be better from a starter standpoint if they roll with Tyler Smith. From a depth standpoint, And then from a totality on your offensive line, because of that domino effect of putting Tyler at guard, you're worse. It just is what it is right now until we get proven otherwise.
Yeah, you ain't going to know until preseason.
Ain't going to know.
You'll see who the better players, good, who plays the best. Them rookies might come through. But I think that if he work on a little bit more of his technique, the guy we got from Atlanta, the tackle that came from the Jets.
Oh, you mean Doja?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just got to work a little bit more on his technique and he be pushing. I saw the tape on him. That's all you got to do.
He had a solid game in Atlanta. His lone time at guard. So they signed him for a reason, insurance, and he absolutely became insurance because they didn't take a surefire guard in the draft. So maybe Doja just started as we speak right now, because when you look at Terrence Steele, obviously he can't go out there and be a starting right tackle in May. Maybe he will be in August, but in May he's not. So you're probably going with Tyler and Tyron at your tackles. And I think it has to be Doja at your left guard. Which, hey, man, we'll see.
Because only the guy that I've seen, Chicago got the 58, right, from Tennessee.
Chicago
the guy we wanted.
58 from Tennessee. We talking about?
The guard, the first round pick.
Oh, Darnell Wright. Yes.
Okay. The Chicago was smart.
Oh, I mean, if Darnell Wright happened to be there, I think they might have jumped all over that, yeah.
Yeah, that was the best guard. And now, you see all the other teams, and I watched all them rookies, you seen it too, they got exposed.
They got exposed?
Them guys got these, them guards that came from Alabama, everybody was high on. Every guard last year that got picked in front of Tyler Smith was horrible. Tyler Smith played all of them. And I was watching the games, and them guys.
Oh yeah. Tyler Smith was the best lineman drafted in that first round last year. If you did a redraft, I think he did like
Alabama wanted him to come to Alabama.
Yeah.
Oh no, don't go to the draft. Alabama's trying to make the kid don't go, come back. We'll give you the money. You come to Alabama. The kid was smart. See, they seen something we didn't see. You know what I'm saying? So, I trusted him. And plus this coach, he like to be physical. And you see your boy number 70 happy because now he get to go back to running. And they're going to throw passing too. It's going to be even because, don't think the Cowboys ain't passing now. The play's going to be better.
Yeah, they're going to
The play calling going to be better. What they talking about, some second and twos. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, you was mad, second and two, the dummy, Video King Raheem, throw a ball.
Video King Raheem. That's a good one.
Video King Raheem killed this team, man. Yeah. And they made the quarterback look horrible.
Yeah,
that's why
I don't see them doing those. I don't see them doing no second and two from the 12 shotgun empty. I don't see that happening this year.
Oh my God! And you showed it too when they go in that 12 personnel. They was running all over teams. This fool only did it like one time. I'm like, they just got brain dead. We be at the game. We were watching on TV. Everybody in the house, everybody looking at me. All right, Marv, this dummy finna pass the ball. I said, yep. And then he ran the same place up the middle and made them. And they knew what we was running. They knew everything was running.
Yeah, when Tony Pollard went down, Marvin, we came out in shotgun. I looked right over to, I think it was Jesse, because we had a couple people there, and I was like, I don't feel good about this. Now, I didn't think it was going to be a pick. Thought maybe a sack, maybe incomplete. But very next play, interception. I'm like, God, of course it turned. Of course. You lost points right there. But anyway.
And look, he didn't even play 34.
In closing, Marv, in closing.
In closing, we got a better setup now. I'm happy. And you can tell the coach, with the defensive coach, everybody on the same page. Yeah. That's all it takes. And everybody's happy, man. I feel good. That's all I got to say. I feel good, man. I'm not even tripping.
I ain't tripping. Appreciate you, Mark.
Sure.
Hey, I think you're right about this, though. Everybody seems to be on the same page. Everybody seems, and that's evident in Mike McCarthy talking about philosophical differences. No more. It's your puppy now, Mike. If things go wrong, if things go awry, we looking at you now. There ain't no Kellen Moore. We looking at you, and we're going to criticize Mike. Criticize. We're going to criticize Mike. We're going to come on here. We're going to do Tape Tuesdays. It's going to be play calls and situations. We're going to come at Mike, all right? When he do good, we're going to praise him as well. The result, though. We need that result to end in the dub. We need there to be some momentum as we get towards the playoffs, and not, 3 or 4 years in a row now. We're talking about, man, this offense looking weird. Injuries, Scott, I don't care. Figure it out. Offense looked weird for 3 consecutive years going into the postseason. Cannot have that. I saw in the chat somebody asked, are there any guards or any offensive linemen to possibly bring in? We talked about this the other day. Free agent option, Trey Turner. Now, I personally want to look at Trey Turner. I looked at a couple games. I was like, all right, look, I don't see an issue here. And bringing him on board, he still could play. Is he the Pro Bowler that he was from 2015 and 19? Probably not. But I would not mind getting more competition in that room. However, if you guys remember when we did this breakdown, I said, look, I'm not sure if there's an issue with Trey Turner behind the scenes, if there's something else I don't know about. I didn't do that type of digging, and I don't got those type of connections. So I reached out to somebody that might. I reached out to Big Duke. I said, hey, man, dude, look, have you looked into Trey Turner? If you don't mind looking into Trey Turner, looking at some veteran options. What's the issue here with Trey Turner? Don't tell me what. I already watched the film. What's the problem with Trey Turner? Or is there a problem with Trey Turner? Is it work ethic? Is he ready to retire? Is he just flat out done? Like, what is it? He said, quote, just not worth it. If Big Duke say you ain't worth it, I'm moving on. I didn't even ask him to go into detail. Is it some things happening off field? Is he just done with football? He said he ain't worth it, man. If Duke say he ain't worth it, I'm gonna take Duke's word. So Trey Turner was the guy that I originally was talking about, but maybe he ain't worth it. All right, we're gonna hit this chat, man, and roll out. I actually went a little longer than I thought I was gonna go, so that's good. Never put Shaq. You almost got me, Shaq. Shaq, the Vikings fan, says expect a lot of play action and screens with Mike McCarthy and a lot of runs. Hey, well, the last part was never really Mike McCarthy, but now he sounds like he's going to be leaning into more runs. But play action and screens, yeah, we'll get the screen game back, I think. And we love play action here in Dallas, so let's keep that going. King said if we bring somebody in, when's the best time? Now, sometime in the summer training camp. King G, not King Element. King, you know me. I'm all about bringing in these dudes now to get acclimated. We ran into that weird situation with Jason Peters and Anthony Barr. You brought Anthony Barr in here 2 or 3 weeks out of the season, and he really didn't get on the practice field until the next week. Then now, a week and a half, 2 weeks later, boom, season starts. Now these are veterans, so maybe they don't want to partake. But I'm about getting these guys in now. And let's see what they got. Let's get them integrated into the system. Same thing with Jason Peters. How many times did we scream? We need tackle help. It took Tyron tearing off the bone from his leg for them to go get tackle help the week before the season. I don't want to do that. Be proactive, not reactive. Facts, King Element. Kangs. We the Kangs. Salute. Shout out to Vosh in the building. Vosh just put, quote, whistle music. Can't miss shows. That's what I was saying, Ryan. Ryan said, ain't worth it. Sounds like he sucks in the locker room. That's kind of what, like, I don't know, locker room, off field, lackadaisical, mental. That's kind of what I'm not trying to put nothing out there. I don't know what exactly he meant. I didn't want to even investigate, because if he say not worth it, not worth it. But I kind of was thinking, maybe he talking about off field. You know? Maybe he talking about off field. All right, man. Good stuff today. Update on the schedule for the week. Will not be here tomorrow. We are off tomorrow. But I will be back on later on the Vosh Lombardi Live show about 3:16. It's kind of where we've been aiming at. For the final show of the week. And then Mo will be back on later on for the A to Z Sports Primetime show about 8 p.m. Central, which is 9 Eastern. And it's so wild to think I used to do shows that damn late. Now, unless it's the round table, I don't even touch anything that late. I'm chilling in bed, cooling by that time, man. 'Cause then I'm up at like 5 something trying to get the show together for the day. Good stuff today. If you missed what we talked about, let's go ahead and bring it back. We mentioned the things that I'm looking to watch for down at Rookie Minicamp. I talked about the H-back/tight ends, where they're going to be placed, the Princeton Fanston, Lipke's of the world. I wanted to see how fluid Schoonmaker would look, dealing with an injury that he had that took him out of his pro day. Is he fine? Is he moving fine? I want to see where do they put these versatile guys at? The Demos of the world, the Awesome Richards, the Viliami Fehokos. Where are these guys going to focus at? Are they even going to focus at one spot? Deuce Vaughn handling the kicking game duties. He didn't do it in college, but he's been working at it over the last 3 or 4 months. How is that translating? And then the cornerback versus wide receiver. I think that's going to be the biggest, most fierce competition down there. Cornerbacks versus wide receivers. So you guys just made the list.
You just made the list.
If you missed the show, run it back. Hashtag running back squad. Think you enjoy it. Catch me out later on the Vosh Lombardi Live show. And make sure y'all support my guy, Mauricio Rodriguez. Hit up A to Z Sports Primetime or A to Z Sports Dallas.com too. We've been dropping mad articles every day, every week, all the time. Matt, Shane, Mo, all of the talented writers. Make sure y'all go there and support as well. Hit this button. Good call, says Danny. Good call. While we talking about Pierre Thomas and Reggie Bush and Mike Bell, what did I miss in the chat? The chat, y'all be having your own show. I don't know if y'all noticed that, but y'all be having your own show in there. I love y'all though. We out of here. Peace. Look like there's an audible. No Vox Lombardi Live show, Cowboys Nation. See y'all Monday. Enjoy your weekend. Live, laugh, love, all that good stuff.